Imagine walking into a supermarket one day and finding the items you've always taken for granted missing from your cart. We're talking bags of rice, packs of coffee, or even that family favorite snack, potato chips. Think it's impossible? Think again. This is the direct fallout of economic shifts, tariffs, and fractured supply chains. Are you ready for a future where the daily essentials you rely on become harder to find on store shelves? Sounds worrying, doesn't it? Join me as we uncover the 10 items at risk of vanishing from your shopping basket and the devastating impact this could have on your life. This video isn't meant to spark panic, it's a wake-up call for your family's grocery list. Welcome back, and I'm Grant Mercer. Number 1. Coffee. Picture this. You wake up after a long night, stumble into the kitchen, eyes half open. The chill of a winter morning makes you crave a jolt of energy to kickstart the day. You fire up the coffee maker, anticipating that familiar aroma filling the air. But then it hits you. There's no coffee in the cupboard. Or worse, its price has skyrocketed beyond belief. This isn't a distant fantasy. It's a reality creeping closer as coffee prices in the US surge and shortages worsen. The scarcity of coffee isn't just a seasonal blip. A major driver is climate change, with prolonged droughts and sudden floods devastating coffee plantations in top-producing countries like Brazil and Colombia. Regions once hailed as coffee havens no longer have the conditions to grow high-quality beans. Add to that disrupted global supply chains, soaring shipping costs, and new tariffs, and the situation grows dire. Coffee prices at supermarkets and cafes are climbing relentlessly. There was a time when a morning cup was no luxury, but that's changing. Families who've made coffee a daily ritual now face tough choices about maintaining the habit. The image of a steaming coffee mug might soon become a rare sight at breakfast. For workers in low-income households, losing access to an affordable cup of coffee is no small shock. Coffee isn't just a drink, it's a rhythm of life, a morning spark, a precious break in a busy day. But as it becomes pricier and scarcer, everything could shift. What will you do without your morning brew? How will life feel when something so familiar turns into a luxury? Number 2. Rice. It sounds unbelievable, but in less than a year, the price of long-grain white rice in the U.S. has surged over 20%, according to the latest USDA data. Per index box, the average import price for rice in 2024 hit $804 per ton, the highest since the 2008 global financial crisis. Rice, a staple so simple and familiar to millions of households, is now one of the most vexing items for homemakers and low-income workers. In supermarkets across many states, rice shelves are emptying out after each restock. The 5-pound bags, once the most budget-friendly option for daily meals, are vanishing from carts as consumers start hoarding. The roots of this scarcity extend beyond U.S. borders. India's ban on rice exports, accounting for over 40% of global commercial rice, has sent shockwaves worldwide, triggering price spikes across markets. Meanwhile, transportation costs and supply chains from Asia to the U.S. are battered by container shortages, geopolitical tensions, and fuel cost pressures. In the U.S., rice is often seen as a meal insurance. A little goes a long way to feed a family. But now, even this minimalist, affordable staple is caught in inflation's spiral. Consumers aren't just paying more, they're facing the real risk of not finding the product at all. This isn't just an issue for poorer nations anymore. Rice shortages are hitting Walmarts, Costco's, and Targets, and you'll feel it keenly when you see the bill for a single bag. Rising rice prices don't just hit wallets, they erode the sense of security in every meal, and that's something no one wants. Number 3. Olive oil. Once dubbed the liquid gold of the Mediterranean, not just for its hue, but for its nutritional value and central role in millions of kitchens, olive oil's nickname is becoming literal in 2025. A bottle of extra virgin olive oil can now cost more than a premium steak, and this isn't confined to high-end supermarkets. As of March 2025, the average retail price of olive oil in the U.S. has surged over 50% from the previous year, per Nielsen IQ data. Some regions report increases exceeding 70%, with a 500 milliliter bottle retailing for $9 to $12, depending on type and origin. For many middle-income families, this price puts a once healthy, budget-friendly staple out of reach. What's driving this runaway price hike? The answer lies in Europe, specifically Spain and Italy, which together account for over 65% of global olive oil production. Both are enduring unprecedented drought-stricken summers, with temperatures hitting 45 degrees Celsius and record low rainfall. The result? A drastic drop in olive yields, Spain alone saw a 60% production decline in 2024. With supplies squeezed, the US, heavily reliant on European imports, is reeling from the price shock. Olive oil was once a wholesome alternative to other frying oils, no longer the luxury it was decades ago. But now, soaring prices are pushing families back to cheaper, less nutritious, higher cholesterol options, a trade-off no one wants but many must accept. You won't see olive oil shelves as bare as those for rice or instant noodles. Instead, they sit stocked, but at prices few dare to touch. Number 4. Potato chips. Remember the satisfying crunch of opening a bag of Lay's, laughing with friends during a break? Or the irresistible aroma of fries wafting through the car at a McDonald's drive-thru? Potato chips aren't just food, they're a slice of childhood, a piece of American culture. But in 2025, this national snack faces an uncertain future. Potato chips, whether crispy snack bags or hot side dishes, are appearing less often in shopping carts and on dining tables. The issue isn't just potato prices, but a supply chain in disarray. Over the past year, raw potato prices have jumped nearly 35% according to USDA data. Why? Poor harvests in Idaho, which produces 30% of U.S. potatoes, combined with skyrocketing transportation, packaging, and storage costs driven by fuel prices and inflation. Add to that the rising costs of frying oil, packaging, and labor, forcing major snack producers to scale back production. Some brands have resorted to shrinkflation, reducing bag sizes while keeping prices steady, leaving consumers grumbling, "Why is this bag mostly air?" Fast food chains are hiking combo prices or shrinking fry portions, making customers feel shortchanged with every order. Potato chips don't stave off hunger or qualify as essentials, but in tough times, small comforts like these bring familiarity and solace. So when even they're priced out of reach, it's not just a snack that's lost, it's a piece of emotional comfort amid life's mounting pressures. Number 5. Imported spices. It's a chilly winter evening, and you're home from work, simmering a pot of traditional chicken soup. You add a pinch of black pepper, a dash of ground ginger, and a sprinkle of nutmeg to deepen the flavor. Everything's perfect. Until you notice the pepper jar is nearly empty and the ginger powder is gone. This isn't just a minor kitchen hiccup, it's the new reality millions of Americans are facing. Imported spices are disappearing. Over the past year, staples like Vietnamese black pepper, Indian cinnamon, Indonesian nutmeg, and powders like ginger, garlic, and curry have become hard-to-find items on supermarket shelves. According to the U.S. Census Bureau of Commerce, spice import costs have surged over 40% year over year, driven by tariffs on goods from Asia and Africa, coupled with skyrocketing sea freight costs due to container shortages and port congestion. This doesn't just inflate spice prices, it directly impacts the flavor of family meals, especially for immigrant communities where traditional spices are a vital link to distant homelands. A small jar of imported black pepper can now cost double last year's price. A tin of turmeric, once the golden ingredient in lattes or beloved curries, is vanishing from natural food chains like Whole Foods or Trader Joe's. The worst part isn't just blander meals, it's the loss of the freedom to season your food your way in the comfort of your own kitchen. Number 6. Cocoa. Cocoa, the key ingredient in chocolate, drink mixes, cocoa-flavored cereals, and baked goods, is entering its worst crisis in decades. Throughout 2024 and into 2025, cocoa prices have shattered records, soaring over 130% in a single year, per ICE Futures US data. The primary culprit is plummeting production in Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana, which supply over 60% of the world's cocoa. Erratic rains, El Niño, and crop diseases, especially root rot viruses and fungal infections, have slashed yields, failing to meet surging global demand. For the US, one of the world's largest chocolate markets, the cocoa crisis is hitting everyday consumers hard. Cocoa powder prices in supermarkets have spiked, dragging up the cost of chocolate milk, candy bars, cookies, and cereals containing cocoa. Bureau of Labor. Statistics data shows retail prices for cocoa-based products have risen 30 to 50% year over year, varying by region and brand. A box of cocoa powder that once cost $6 to $7 for a month's use now nears $12. Beyond prices, many supermarket chains are limiting cocoa product stock. Some smaller retailers have halted imports altogether due to high input costs, thin margins, or unstable distributor supplies. Bakeries and cafes, especially small ones without long-term supplier contracts, are resorting to cheaper substitutes or hiking product prices. If this continues unchecked, American consumers will face a new reality. Cocoa will no longer be an easily accessible pantry staple. In the near future, this once essential ingredient could become a luxury item for working-class and middle-income households. Number 7. Affordable frozen seafood. For millions of American families, especially working-class households in coastal and inland states, affordable frozen seafood was a budget-friendly, nutritious staple for daily meals. However, this item is fast becoming a luxury on supermarket shelves, not due to waning demand, but because of turbulent global supply chains and tightening import policies. A significant portion of America's affordable frozen seafood comes from countries like China, Thailand, India, and Vietnam, where fishing and processing costs are far lower than domestically. Yet, since 2023, the U.S. has imposed anti-dumping duties and punitive tariffs on various imported seafood products, particularly shrimp, pangasius, and squid. Coupled with rising transportation and cold storage costs, plus labor shortages at ports, import prices are soaring, stripping away the affordable label. It's not just international factors. Domestically, the U.S. is seeing a worrying decline in seafood catch. In regions like the Gulf of Mexico, the West Coast, and Alaska, climate change is disrupting marine habitats. Colder winters, hotter summers, and shifting ocean currents have slashed catches for 2 consecutive years. A NOAA report notes that U.S. seafood landings in 2024 dropped about 17% compared to the 5-year average. For consumers, this means the budget appeal of frozen seafood is evaporating. In some Midwestern supermarkets, the price of standard frozen shrimp has jumped from $7.99 lb to over $12 lb in just 8 months. Frozen fish fillets, a go-to for quick meals among workers, are also pricier and increasingly scarce. Many Americans are turning to cheaper protein sources like dried beans or sausages, or ditching seafood altogether. The gradual disappearance of affordable frozen seafood isn't just about price. It's a warning bell for the future of accessible food in America, where what was once food for all is becoming a luxury. Number 8. Almonds. In recent years, almonds, often called the brown gold of the food industry, have been a favorite American snack, starring in almond milk, nut butters, breakfast cereals, and even DIY beauty recipes. But their popularity is now under threat. Prices are soaring, supply is shrinking, and the future looks uncertain. Few realize that over 80% of the world's almonds come from a single place, California. This makes the almond market incredibly vulnerable. California has endured years of severe drought, and almonds, a high-value crop, require vast amounts of water. According to the California Department of Water Resources, producing just 16 almonds takes nearly 15 liters of water, a staggering figure in a state grappling with chronic water shortages. Climate change has also disrupted almond tree blooming seasons, while a decline in bee populations, the primary pollinators, pushes the industry to the brink. Farmers now pay steep fees to rent beehives for pollination, and many are reducing almond acreage or switching to less water-intensive crops. These factors are driving prices up fast. In 2024 alone, whole almond prices rose about 28% year over year, per the Almond Board of California. This has spiked costs for almond-based products from milk to cereals to nut butters. For America's middle and working classes, who embraced almonds as a healthy plant-based protein, paying more for a small bag is forcing tough choices. A product once a grocery cart staple is now under scrutiny, often replaced by cheaper, less nutritious alternatives. Almonds, symbols of a healthy, convenient lifestyle, are no longer a given in every kitchen. If weather, water, and supply chain issues don't improve, Americans may face a grim reality. Almonds, though small, are becoming a luxury item. Number 9. Tropical fruit. On a sweltering summer morning, you stroll past the supermarket's fruit aisle, eyeing golden bananas, ripe pineapples, or juicy mangoes, nature's sweet gifts calling out to you. But as you push your cart along, you notice the prices of these tropical fruits have skyrocketed. Few would imagine that these familiar staples, a mainstay in every family's grocery basket, are teetering on the edge of scarcity. Tropical fruits, including bananas, pineapples, mangoes, papayas, and even avocados, are among the most challenged items in America's food supply chain. The issue isn't just supply, but the complex journey these fruits take across oceans, traveling thousands of miles to reach consumers. Why are these fruits becoming so costly and scarce? The answer starts with climate change. Major tropical fruit-producing countries like Costa Rica, Ecuador, the Philippines, and Thailand, key suppliers to the U.S., are grappling with erratic weather. Sudden temperature shifts, irregular rainfall, and natural disasters like storms and floods are shrinking harvest seasons and slashing yields. Take mangoes in Mexico, for example. Production dropped 15% last year due to prolonged heavy rains. This means many American consumers won't easily find those fragrant mangoes during peak months. A similar story unfolds in the world's top banana-growing nations. Vast banana plantations in Ecuador and Costa Rica have been battered by tropical storms and unexpected shifts in rainy seasons. As a result, tropical fruit prices are soaring. USDA data shows banana prices, one of the most common tropical fruits, have risen over 30% in the past year. Hass avocados, pineapples, and papayas are no longer guaranteed fixtures in American breakfasts. Transportation poses an even bigger hurdle. Tropical fruits require cold storage to stay fresh, inflating shipping costs, especially amid global supply chain bottlenecks. Major U.S. ports in California and Florida, which handle most of these imports, are clogged due to labor shortages and difficulties securing vessels. Ultimately, consumers bear the brunt. Families accustomed to grabbing bananas or mangoes for an afternoon snack now face steeper costs. Tropical fruits, once a staple in quick, healthy meals, are becoming a luxury for many. From vibrant breakfast fruit bowls to refreshing desserts, tropical fruits are fading from American shopping carts. This isn't just a shift in consumption habits, it's a clear sign of a fractured food supply chain where what was once ordinary is becoming strikingly rare. Number 10. Canned foods. Canned foods have long been a cornerstone of American grocery carts, especially during crises or when time-saving meals are a priority. From tuna and beans to fruits and ready-to-eat stews, canned goods are ideal for quick, budget-friendly meals. But now these convenient staples are growing scarce and may not be as common on supermarket shelves. One major driver is the shortage of raw materials. Many canned foods, especially fish and meat, are struggling to maintain production due to challenges in the seafood and agricultural sectors. Fishermen face dwindling catches from climate change and overfishing, while canned food producers grapple with labor shortages and transportation issues for raw ingredients. Take the tuna industry. Processing plants in various countries are struggling to secure steady supplies as tuna populations decline in oceans. Add to that soaring shipping costs from congested sea routes, making tuna imports tougher than ever. The result? Canned tuna stocks on supermarket shelves have dropped significantly, with prices jumping about 20% in the past year, per recent studies. It's not just fish. Agriculture also plays a role in canned food scarcity. Beans, corn, and other vegetables, key ingredients in canned products, are in short supply, driving up prices. Some producers face crop failures, unable to supply enough raw materials for canning. Moreover, canning plants are hampered by shortages of materials and labor, further inflating product costs. Inflation and energy costs are also critical factors. Producing and transporting canned foods requires substantial energy for manufacturing lines and cold storage. Rising electricity and fuel prices over the past year have directly pushed canned food prices higher, especially for items needing long-term refrigeration. The scarcity of canned foods doesn't just affect consumers, it hits low-income workers and families hardest. As prices climb, accessing these quick, affordable products becomes tougher for many. Consequently, some households are turning to alternatives or cutting back on pre-prepared foods. Canned foods aren't just vital for daily diets. They're a lifeline during emergencies like pandemics or natural disasters, serving as a primary supply for affected areas. But with dwindling stocks and rising prices, these products may no longer be a reliable fixture in American grocery carts. The items listed above prove that not everything we consider essential will always be readily available on supermarket shelves. From coffee and rice to canned foods, each item tells a unique story of why it's becoming scarcer and pricier than ever. We're not just facing production challenges, but also broader economic pressures like inflation and rising transportation costs. Yet, this is also a chance to rethink our consumption habits and explore viable alternatives. Hopefully, this information equips you with the knowledge to prepare for upcoming changes in daily life. The data and analyses in this video are for reference only, based on current figures and events. Future shifts may alter the outcomes discussed. If you found this video helpful and want to stay updated, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to catch all our latest content. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.